a valence shell. We call it as the outermost shell. That is called as the valence shell. Outermost shell of an atom. Outermost, this is an atom. Outermost shell of an atom, that is called valence shell. Okay. The electron present in the valence shell, they are called valence electrons. So this is the valence shell. Valence shell, and the electron present in the outermost shell, it means in the valence shell, that is called valence electrons. Valence electron. Okay, these valence electrons are responsible for the chemical properties. The chemical property exist by the elements. So that is based on the valence electrons. Okay, and we are involved in the chemical reaction now. Chemical reaction, that is also based on the valence electrons. The valence electrons are present in the outermost shell, then only they will involve in the chemical reaction. So chemical reaction, that is depend upon the valence electron present in the outermost shell. Keep it in mind. Clear? Okay. So valence shell, valence electrons, and valence electrons, the electron present in the outermost shell, they are responsible for the involving the chemical reaction. Okay. Next, the elements which have similar chemical properties, which are showing similar chemical properties. So in the valence shell, same number of electrons present. Same number of electrons are present. Now, for example, sodium. Sodium. So how many electrons are present in the valence shell? So this is called first group. In the periodic table, there are 18 groups are there and 7 periods are there. So these are called groups. Vertical columns they are called groups. Okay, there are 18 groups are there, and horizontal lines is there now. They are called periods. So 7 periods are there, 18 groups are there. Vertical column, that is called groups. There are 18 groups are there, and horizontal line is there now. There are 7 horizontal lines. 7 horizontal lines are there. You get the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 horizontal lines. They are called periods. Okay. Now we take the. So first I took sodium. What is the atomic number of potassium? Atomic number of potassium is 19. Atomic number of potassium is 19. Let's fill that. So it's a nucleus. Next, K shell, L shell, M shell. So in the K shell we can fill 2 electrons. So in the L shell, 8 electrons. 8. Next, 8 plus 2, 10. So in the next cell, how many electrons will fill that? In K, L, or in the M cell, how many? Now 9 electrons are remaining now. How many electrons will fill in the M cell? 8 electrons. Very good. But M cell has the capacity to fill 18 electrons. But don't fill the 18 electrons. 9 electrons. How many electrons remaining now? Yeah, 9 electrons are remaining there. Don't fill 9 electrons completely, because I told in last class. So fill only 8 electrons. So why it should fill only 8 electrons? To attain the stable state. The element want to attain the stable state. Now when the electrons remain now, then move to the next shell, that is M shell. So in the, now which is the outermost shell for the potassium now? So in the outermost shell, how many electrons are present? 1 electron. Now look at that. So in the first group elements, so except lithium and hydrogen, so the first group elements in their outermost shell only 1 electron will be present. Okay, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Okay, these are present in the first group. So they are showing the similar chemical properties. As I told, the chemical properties depends on their valence electrons, is it? So the sodium in its outermost shell 1 electron is present. What about the next potassium? In its outermost shell 1 electron is present. If you take cesium also, so in its outermost shell 1 electron will be present. They are showing the similar chemical properties, because they have in the outermost shell only 1 electron. So in the first group, except hydrogen and lithium, have 1 electron. Hydrogen also, it has 1 electron. Is it? Hydrogen. That is also have 1 electron. Hydrogen also, they has 1 electron. They are showing similar chemical properties. Because of that reason, they are placed in the first group. Okay. So chemical properties depends on the valence electrons. To tell that, right? I told this one. Okay. So chemical properties depends on the valence electrons, and these valence electrons are responsible for the chemical reaction. The elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell. The elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 in their outermost shell, they are considered as a metal. They are considered as a metal except hydrogen and helium. Except hydrogen and helium. The elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered as the metals. They are considered as the metals except hydrogen and helium. Okay, hydrogen is not a metal. Okay, it is not. We will study in the higher next chapters why it is not metal. Okay, next helium, that is a gas. Helium is a gas. Okay, that is an inert gas. Inert gas. Clear? So the elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered as the metals. Now, potassium and sodium. What about the potassium? Is a metal or a non-metal now? Potassium, it is a metal or a non-metal? Metal. So it has only 1 electron. Look at the potassium. It has only 1 electron in outermost shell. Sodium, it is a metal or a non-metal? Metal. Sodium also metal. Okay. Clear? Keep it in mind that the elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered the metals. Okay. Except hydrogen and helium. Okay. The metals, they are going to lose the electron. By losing the electron, they are gaining the positive charge. By losing the electron, they are gaining the positive charge. Okay. Now, for example, sodium. Sodium, which has 11 protons are there. 11 protons, that is equal to 11 electrons, is it? So sodium atom, which have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are always losing the electron. They are always losing the electron. They will not gain the electron. Why they are losing the electron? To attain the stable state. To attain the stable state. Okay. So if 1 electron is removed from the outermost shell of the sodium, it will become sodium ion. Let's see that. Sodium. So already I told that what is the difference between sodium atom and ion? Is it? Sodium is electrically neutral, whereas ion is it has a positive charge or a negative charge. Is it? The sodium, it has, so electron configuration of sodium is 2, 8, 1. Is it? So in case of 2 electrons, in the L shell 8 electrons. Next, the one more, that is the M shell. So it is going to lose the electron to attain the stable state or to gain the positive charge. Now look at that. So losing from minus sign should write that. 1 electron is losing, E minus. So it will become to lose the electron minus sign. Losing electron represented by minus sign. Okay. So it is going to lose 1 electron. So it will become to losing 1 electron, it will gain the positive charge. Na plus sodium ion now. So this is a sodium atom. Na plus. By losing 1 electron, it gains the positive charge. And these are called as reducing metals. They are called as reducing agents. Why they are called reducing agents? Because they are losing the electron. Okay. Metals, they are good reducing agents. Clear? So potassium also. Now look at the potassium. So right here, potassium. So it is also, it has 1 electron in its outermost shell, is it? So potassium, so its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 8, 1. So it has 1 electron in its outermost shell. So it is going to lose 1 electron. So potassium atom will become, after losing 1 electron, potassium ion. It will gain the positive charge. So 1 E minus. So it will become K plus. So now look at that 2, 8, 8. Now look at that outermost shell is completely flat. It means 8 electrons are there. So it attains the stable state. By losing 1 electron, it will gain the positive charge as well as it will attain the stable state. Okay. They are called good reducing agents. So keep it in mind that. So the metals, so how it is formed? So sodium ion, how it is formed? By losing one electron, it will going to gain the positive charge. Sodium ion, atom is going to change into the sodium ion. Usually, the 1 or 2 or 3 electron present in the outermost shell, they are always going to lose the electron. Lose the electron. Okay. Keep it in mind. By losing one electron, they will gain the positive charge. They will get the positive charge. That is called cations. Cations. Elements can lose electrons to form ions, which are positively charged. They are called cations. So by losing one electron, they are gaining the positive charge. That's why it is called cations. Okay. It is called cations, and they are good reducing agents. They are good reducing agents. Clear? Keep it in mind. Next, move to the next now. The elements which have 4, 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered as the non-metals. The elements which have 4 or 5, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered as the non-metals. They are considered as the non-metals. The elements which have in their outermost shell 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost shell, they are considered as the non-metals. Okay, non-metals. So for example, chlorine. Chlorine. So what is it? Atomic number of chlorine 17. Atomic number of chlorine is 17. Now I will write that here. So this is the nucleus. So chlorine, its atomic number is 17. Okay. So this is the nucleus. So here you can fill 2 electrons in the K shell. Next, in the L shell, 8 electrons, 2 plus 8, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many electrons you can fill in the M shell? So in the K shell, 2 electrons. In the L shell, 8 electrons. 2 plus 8, 10. How many electrons remaining now? Yes, how many electrons are remaining? In the K shell, 2 electrons. In the L shell, 8 electrons. 2 plus 8, 10. How many electrons remaining now to fill in the M shell? 7 electrons. Now fill in the M shell 7 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, as I told, it is a metal or a non-metal now? Non-metal. It is a non-metal. Okay. So the elements which have 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in the outermost shell, they are considered as the non-metal. They are considered as the non-metal. Now chlorine is a non-metal. And okay. And one more thing, they will. So to attain its stable state, so it is need 1 electron. Is it? So they will always, the non-metal, they will accept the electron. They will accept the electron. So by accepting electron, they will gain the negative charge. They will get the negative charge. That's why it is called anion. We call it as an anion. The non-metals always are accepting the electrons. That's what is called anion. By accepting, it will gain negative charge. Now chlorine, its atomic number is 17. So 287. 287. It is accepting the electron, is it? So plus 1 is right there. Plus 1 electron. So it will become Cl minus. Cl minus. If accepting the electron, it should write plus sign. Okay. Losing the electron, minus sign. Keep it in mind that. Now, by accepting 1 electron, its electronic concentration becomes 288. So it is completely filled. So to attain the stable state, by gaining 1 electron, it is gaining by gaining 1 electron, or by accepting 1 electron, it will gain the negative charge, and also it will attain the stable state because its outermost shell is completely filled. Completely filled means octet rule. What is the octet rule? I will tell what is the octet rule. Keep it in mind. Okay? So it will attain the stable state. It will attain the stable state. So the non-metals, they are good oxidizing agents. They are good oxidizing agents. Good oxidizing agents. They are good oxidizing. What about the metals? What about the metals? elements, they are good reducing agents. Metals, they are good reducing agents. Okay. Whereas the non-metals, they are oxidizing agents. Okay. Next, move to the next now. The valence of the elements having 1 or 2 or 3 valence electrons, respectively, they are combined with the non-metals which have electrons 4, 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in their valence shell. Okay. The elements which have 1 or 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are going to combine with the elements of non-metals which have electrons in their outermost shell 4, 5, 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost shell. So it means sodium, it has 1 electron. Sodium, it has 1 electron. Chlorine, it has 7 electrons. Okay. Chlorine, it has 7 electrons. So they are going to combine. They are going to combine to form the molecule. To form the molecule sodium chloride. How sodium chloride is formed? So by transfer of electron between sodium to the chlorine. So it has 1 electron in its outermost shell. So it is going to lose that electron. The losing electron is accepted by the chlorine, which has 7 electrons in the outermost shell. Which has 7 electrons in the outermost shell. That's why I am telling the elements which have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost shell, they are going to combine with the elements of which have 4, 5 or 6 or 7 electrons in their outermost shell. And the valency of the metals. So if it has 1 electron in the outermost shell, its valency is 1. So 1 electron is present in the outermost shell of that element, that valency is 1. If 2 electrons are present in the outermost shell, its valency is 2. Okay. If 3 electrons are present in the outermost shell, its valency is 3. Okay. And next, 4 electrons are present in the outermost shell, its valency is 4 only. For example, carbon, it has 4 electrons in the outermost shell, so its valency is 4. Okay. Next, coming to the point of chlorine now, it has 7 electrons in the outermost shell. What is its valency now? 1. Yes, very good. 1. Its valency is not 7. Even though it has 7 electrons in the valence shell, its valency is not 7. So what you have to do there? You have to do 8 minus 7. That is equal to 1. So if it is more than 4 is there, 8 minus we should do. More than 4 is there, 8 minus we should do. Now take the example of nitrogen. Take the example of nitrogen. What is the atomic number of nitrogen? We will fill 2 electrons. In the next cell, N cell, we will fill 5 electrons. What is the valency of the nitrogen now? So its valency is 3 because not 5. So even though it has 5 electrons in the outermost shell, its valency is not 5. Okay. So its valency is 3. 8 minus 5 should do that. So 8 minus 5 should do that. Oh, that is 3. Now understood how to calculate the valency? If it is more than 4 is there, don't take that. You should do the subtraction. 8 minus you should do that. So, but if 1 electron, 2 electrons or 3 electrons and 4 electrons is present, that is only valency. Okay? Clear? For calcium, so 2 electrons present in the outermost shell, its valency is 2. Sodium, 1 electron, its valency is 1. Okay? Aluminium, it has 3 electrons in the outermost shell, its valency is 3 only. Okay? Carbon, it has 4 electrons, its valency is 4 only. Clear? Chlorine, it has 7 electrons, but its valency not 7. 8 minus 7 you should do that. 8 minus, if it is more than 4, 8 minus you should do. Clear? Next, I will go to the next now. Reason for chemical activity of an atom. Reason for chemical activity of an atom. Inert gas in the 18 group. So which are the elements will come there? I am writing the board now. Look at the board. Yes. So it is a 18 group. So in the 18 group, so these elements will come there. So helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay. So 18th group elements. 18 group elements. The periodic table will look there. So it's the last period. Last period it is. Okay. So this is the last period. Helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay. So these are 18 group elements. 18 group elements. So these 18 group elements, why I written on the board means they are not involving any chemical reaction. They are not involving any chemical reaction. What is the reason? With others also they will not involve any chemical reaction. With themselves also they will not combine. They will not react to form the molecule. Okay, from themselves also they will not combine. So what is the reason? I have the 8 electrons in the outermost shell except the helium. Look at the other. I will tell what about the helium. Okay, later. Now look at the neon. So it has 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So this is the outermost shell. Next argon. So M, that is M shell is the outermost shell. It has 8 electrons. Is it? Next krypton. N is the outermost shell. So 8 electrons. Next xenon. So O is the outermost shell. So 8 electrons. Next radon. P is the outermost shell. It has 8 electrons. So their outermost shells are completely filled. Their outermost shells are completely filled. Because of that reason, they are not involving any chemical reaction. Okay. Themselves also they will not react. So because this is the reason their outermost shell is completely filled. Because of that reason, they will not react with any other elements. With themselves also they will not react. Clear? What about the helium? So these elements, except helium, others are in their outermost shell. 8 electrons are there. Is it? 8 electrons are there. Octet. We call it as a octet. They already attained the octet state. That elements, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon, already they attained the octet state. Two rules you will see there. One is the octet rule, another one is the duplet rule. Duplet rule. Okay. The only one element that has a duplet rule, that is helium. So helium, duplet means in its outermost shell 2 electrons will be present there. So that is called duplet. So helium, so its atomic number 2 only, so it has 2 electrons. So it is completely filled. Even though it does not have 8 electrons, so it is attained the duplet rule. So it has 2 electrons in outermost shell. Okay. Because of that reason also, helium also not involved in the chemical reaction. So these are called inert gases. Inert gases. Their combining capacity is 0. Combining capacity is 0. It means they are not involving any chemical reaction. Clear? They are not involving any chemical reactions. So why they are not involving except helium? Helium attained the duplet state. What about the other elements? They attained the octet state. Okay. Clear? Octet and duplet. So octet rule means, so it should be 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Duplet means it should have 2 electrons in the outermost shell. Okay. Now coming to the other elements now. So these are the elements which are not involving the chemical reaction. Because of these reasons they are called inert gases. Okay. Inert gases are noble gases. Inert gases are noble gases. What about the other elements? So they should involve in the chemical reaction. As I told, the electron present in the outermost shell, they are involving in the chemical reaction. Is it? That means valence electrons. Valence electrons, they are involving in the chemical reaction. So by involving chemical reaction, they are going to attain its stable state. How they are going to attain stable state? By transfer of electrons. By transfer of electrons, it means the bond will form. The chemical bond that is formed by transfer of electron from one element to the another element. As I told, sodium and chlorine. Okay, sodium it has 1 electron. Sodium it has 1 electron in its outermost shell. Chlorine it has 7 electrons in outermost shell. So they are going to combine. They are going to combine and form the sodium chloride. How they are going to combine? By transfer of electron. Sodium want to attain the stable state. It is going to attain the stable state by losing 1 electron. So if it is lose 1 electron, So its atomic number is 7, sorry 11. Atomic number is 11. So 2, how the electron configuration come there? 2, 8, 1. So one electron is present in the outermost shell. It's going to lose an electron. So if it is lose one electron, so 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Is it? So it attains the stable state. Next, the one electron is loosed by the sodium, no? That is gained by the chlorine. Gained by the chlorine. How? That is how sodium chloride bond is formed. Chemical bond. Sodium molecule is formed, no? Sodium chloride. Okay. The chemical bond is formed by transfer of electrons or by sharing of electrons. Or by sharing of electrons. So few bond is formed by transfer of electrons. Sodium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride. So that is bond is formed by transfer of electrons. Whereas if you are bond formed by sharing of electrons. Sharing of electrons. Now for example, carbon tetrachloride or methane, CH4. Okay, that I will explain in the next higher classes. So this is how chemical bond is formed, by transfer of electrons or by sharing of electrons. Okay, so the elements which don't have 8 electrons in the outermost shell, they are going to attain stable state by transfer of electrons or by sharing of electrons. Keep it in mind. So like this chemical bond is formed. Chemical bond will be defined as a force of attraction between two atoms that binds them together as a unit of a molecule. Chemical bond, that is a attraction. The force of attraction between two atoms that binds them together as a unit of molecule. That is called chemical bond. Force of attraction between the two atoms, okay, that binds them as a unit of molecule. That is called chemical bond. Clear? So this is how they are how we form the chemical bonds. Next, one more I will do the isotopes. One more topic, small topic, isotopes. So what is isotopes? Isotopes nothing but atoms of the same element. Having the same atomic number but different mass number. Atoms of the same element, look at that. Atoms of the same element having the same atomic number but different mass number. They have the same atomic number but which is changing, mass number is changing. That is called atomic number. The atoms of the same element having the same atomic number but differ in their mass number. They are called isotopes. Isotopes having same atomic number but different mass number. Having same atomic number but different mass number. The same element of the same element. For example, hydrogen. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes of hydrogen. Example. So atomic number same 1 only. So here mass number 1 only. Next H1, mass number 2, mass number 3. Okay, so this is the isotopes. Isotopes of hydrogen, they ask you to write. So atomic number same, mass number 1. Okay, atomic number of hydrogen 1 only. Okay, so look at the atomic numbers are same. Okay, next look at mass number there 1. So what is it? 2, 3. Differ in the mass number I told. Is it? Differ in the mass number. So this is called protium. What is called? Protium. The first one that is called protium. The second one that is called deuterium. What is called? Deuterium. And third one, tritium. These are the isotopes of hydrogen. Okay. So the first one, protium. It does not have a neutron. does not have a neutron. Okay, so and deuterium, so 1 neutron is present. Tritium, 2 neutrons are present. So this is the mass number, no? This is the mass number. Mass number, what is the mass number? It is a total number of protons and neutrons, is it? So here only one proton is there is no neutron. So protium, that is only a neutron less. The neutron is not present in the protium. Okay. Whereas in the deuterium, one neutron is there. In tritium, 2 neutrons are there. Okay. 2 neutrons are there. So these are the isotopes of hydrogen. Isotopes nothing but atoms of the same element having same atomic number but differ in the mass number. Differ in the mass number. So carbon, that is also 3 isotopes of carbon. So C6H12, C6H13, C6H14. So in carbon also 3 isotopes of carbon you can see there. 3 isotopes of carbon. Look at them. So atomic number is same, mass number they are changing the mass number. 12, 13, 14. They are called isotopes of carbon. Isotopes of carbon. In chlorine also 2 is there. 2 isotopes of chlorine. They have same atomic number, different the mass number. Okay, that is chlorine. So its atomic number 70, mass number 35. So one more is there. Atomic number 17 same and 37. 37. So these are the examples of the isotopes. Okay, and chemical properties of an element depends on the atomic number. Keep it in mind that chemical properties of an element depends on the atomic number, not on the mass number. Okay, isotopes have similar chemical properties. Protium, that is also same chemical property if you compare with the deuterium. Similar to the tritium, they have the same chemical property because depends on the chemical property depends on the atomic number. In isotopes, atomic number is not changing, mass number is changing, is it? Atomic number is same, mass number is changing. Okay, chemical property depends on the atomic numbers. Isotopes of cobalt. Used in the radiotherapy for treating cancer. Isotopes of cobalt that is used in the radiotherapy for treatment of cancer. That is use of the isotopes of cobalt and carbon. So isotopes of carbon is used for determining the age of historical and geological material. Isotopes of carbon, it is used to find the age of, determine the age of historical and geological material. So long back, so we will get one material something. So 100 years back or 200 years back or 1000 years back. The age you have to find out. So that time they will use the isotopes of carbon to find that age. Okay, find that age or the historical place or something else. Okay. So that is the use of the isotopes of carbon. Next, isotopes of uranium used in the fuel in nuclear reactors. Isotopes of uranium. Uranium that is used as a fuel in the nuclear reactors. And isotopes of iodine used in the treatment of goiter. So something it is swelling very big. Is it? If suddenly become large, there is a deficiency of iodine. Because of that reason we found now. So for that treatment, isotopes of iodine is used. Okay. So these are the uses of the isotopes. You can go through the textbook there. Okay.